The way that it works is we have our vendor partners and thought leaders submit applications. Those applications are reviewed by our dealer panel. The dealer panel will select 5 finalists that you'll meet here soon, and they get the opportunity to present on the main stage of this event with the hopes of winning and being the only keynote opportunity for our fall event, the Driving Sales Executive Summit. So little plug for the Executive Summit. It's going to be October 8th through the 10th at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. We hope to see everybody there. I'll tell you a little bit more about it later, but they are competing for the only keynote opportunity at that event. So the way that it works is each of the finalists that are going to present will have 5 minutes to present. I'll have the clock going just so you guys know. And then we have 3 judges that you'll meet in a second who are going to be up here on stage that will do up to 5 minutes of Q&A as well. And again, I'll have the clock going on that. We'll have to stay on a good cadence. So the judges, and we also have about 10 or so judges in the audience as well that will be scoring the competition. I will announce those later today. We will announce the winner later today. The 2 main questions that they're going to be scored on is one is, was the insight relevant for you as a dealer principal or GM? And then 2 is, how applicable was that insight at your dealership? So those are the 2 main things that they'll be scored on. So without further ado, I want to bring up the judges first. So we have Adam Silverlib. Adam, there he is. All right. Adam is the dealer principal of the Silco Automotive Group. Thanks for being here, Adam. Second, we have Mallory Orozco. Mallory, if you want to come on up. Thank you, Mallory. She is the HR director at Baldwin Motors. Appreciate you being here. And third, and not least, we have James Cornelison. And I polished up that pronouncing his last name this morning. I got it. Anyway, James, thank you so much for being here. James is the general manager at Jack Burford Chevrolet, so appreciate you being here. Okay, so let's bring up our first finalist. That would be Gail Rubenstein and Carl Adams from Retail New Zealand. So guys, as soon as I get the nod, I will get the timer going for the 5 minutes, okay? All right.
Oh man, 5 minutes.
Goes fast.
Okay, our most valuable insight is called social selling with your sales staff. An infinite amount of return.
Your sales staff can sell an additional 3 to 4 cars per month per salesperson, which is an additional 30 to 40 car deals per month. And who doesn't want that? Using organic social selling. All they need is a proper roadmap with new car offers, used car offers, and F&I offers.
Okay, so there's 3 critical elements to organic social selling. The first one is the human element that starts with the president and CEO of the company, all the way down to your sales staff and your F&I. I'm talking primarily variable operations in this presentation. The second is social selling tools and techniques on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, any social platform. The way you execute it on a high level with your internet managers and your marketing directors can also be executed on a sales associate level for organic and paid social. And the third is you're building the formation of multiple businesses within a business. So you're empowering your people to be entrepreneurs to take your business to the next level. Our definition of social selling is, our definition of social selling is the use of social media platforms to effectively place people and inventory and F&I offers in front of in-market buyers with all your employees from top to bottom. And the cost associated with organic social selling, there literally is no financial or monetary value that's coming out of your pocket as a dealer principal or president and CEO. There's literally no reason in the world, other than us not doing that job, but there's literally no reason in the world why we can't do this, because there is no monetary cost associated with it. It costs you time. So when you go to the dealership and you wake up in the morning, you get your entire sales staff to post a new car offer, a used car offer, I need inventory, we pay cash for cars, whatever you have going on at the dealership, the only cost to you is time. So the reason why in the beginning of my video is, oh, I can get an extra 30, 40 car deals a month, I'm gonna use the example of you have 10 salespeople. Okay, so I have 10 salespeople, I sell an extra 3 cars, I have an extra 360 car deals per year. Total, that's for my entire sales staff, right? I have 10 salespeople, I sell, each one of them sells an extra 4 vehicles a month off social selling. I have 480 car deals. Now, our statistics and data have proven and shown that the average for a dealership is 3.5 to 4 car sales per salesperson, which is an additional 420 car deals a month. We pulled this from VIN Solutions, eLead, Dealer Socket. We have 271 students in our intermediate social selling program right now that take these classes. And this has also been done by people that don't take classes, because this can be done without paying a company like us. You can teach this to your salespeople at the dealership. The 420 car deals, we pulled that they have an average of 2868 in front and back end gross. And to be honest, to me that's low. Most front end and back end gross car deals off TikTok and Facebook are about $2,000 higher than that. But we're giving you guys the real stats and real data that we pulled out of the CRM tools. So that's an additional 1.2 million of front and back end gross off social, plus your revenue from your trade-ins, plus your revenue from servicing those trade-ins, plus your revenue from the F&I from the trade-ins, and then what we call an infinite amount of return. And Carl's gonna walk through the infinite amount of return.
So here's the infinite amount of return. The average person on Facebook has 600 friends right now. So if you have one salesperson that makes one post, if only 1% of their friends that they have on Facebook like, comment, share, or react to it, that's gonna reach 6 people. Those 6 people times their 600 friends is 3,600 people that they can organically reach without spending a single dollar, plus their original 600. So that salesperson can reach 4,200 people if only 1% like, comment, share, or react. That's where the infinite comes from. Because if you have someone like myself or Gail, every time we post something, we get hundreds of likes, comments, reacts, shares. I have 800 friends on my Facebook. So I get hundreds just from mine. So mine's probably 25% of my friends will like, comment, react, share my stuff. And so if you have a person that's as active on social media as we are, they're gonna get that same percentage. So that's why that in return is infinite. So that's how many people can see your ad.
All right, time.
Oh!
That was 5?
Wow!
That was like 10 seconds over.
Wow! All right, anyway, you can dominate on your marketplace. Dominate.
But yeah, we got 5 minutes for Q&A if you guys want to get started.
Oh, let me go back to screen. That's what I was going to put up. There we go.
So what's in it for you? If
Well,
there's no cost, what's in it for you?
If they sign up with us, there's something in it for us, right?
Okay.
If the dealers do it, are you saying what's in it for the dealers or what's in it for?
What's in it for you? You didn't get to that. In other words, how does this work? You're telling them to use TikTok, Instagram. What do we need you for?
You don't.
You can do it on
I mean,
your
you
own.
guys don't.
We
You
have a
don't
social
need
selling
people
school, but
like
you can't
us.
do it on your own.
Do we have a roadmap? Yes. Do we have best practices? Yes. But as a dealer principal, you can do this. Your people can do this. And all your employees play on social. They love it. They're addicted to it. They love it. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, realistically, is there a, like on your platform, like you're saying you track the data, track the analytics, like where does that come from? How do you track it? And then also, what's the method to the madness? Like each day you come in the store, like you have the best practices.
Yeah.
You have the best practice, like am I posting on Facebook first thing in the morning? Am I making a TikTok video first thing in the morning? Is it at 9 a.m.? Is it at 3 p.m.? Like when's the best time? Is that why that you would use retail resilience, right? Or right? That's why we would employ you, I guess.
I would say yes, but again, that data, and that's a great question. The data and information, you guys can look it up on Google, right? So you can look up the best times to post on Facebook. You can look up the best times to post on TikTok. In regards to what days they post, what they post, the algorithms are based on consistency. Literally, it's consistency. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like they would have to continuously have a consistent process. So you could do a new car offer one day, used car offer another day, fun post the next day, what's my trade worth the next day? But yeah, it's all based on consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does the coaching look like for the employees? We have lots of employees that are very active on social media, but I don't necessarily want to just let them run free willy and post about used cars on our lot.
What was? Oh, the coaching part. So the coaching part gives them a professional direction of where they should go and what they should do.
That's going to align with the dealership policies and what the way the dealership wants it to look too. So we're going to incorporate what the dealership's core values are in the way they post, so they're not going against what the dealer programs are.
Yeah. And holding them accountable. It's the accountability. So what most salespeople have told us is that they need someone to hold them accountable to actually doing the work, but they enjoy it and they like it. Yeah.
Who is typically that person that is holding them accountable? Is it the sales manager? Is it the marketing director?
We've seen all different types of people in the dealership, honestly. Sometimes it's the dealer principal, sometimes it's their social media director. Usually it has to be a sales manager. The salespeople, it's kind of who they report into. And they, if the sales manager is doing it, they kind of mimic their behavior, right? They'll kind of be like, oh, my manager does this, I'm gonna go do this. And it becomes part of your culture at your store. So it's really a cultural thing that creates this type of environment, but it's a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun.
Any guidelines for former employees when they leave?
So former employees, they take the brand with them, right? So if they leave your dealership and they've branded as like, it's Jim, buy a car with him, his people typically follow him with the brand, which is unfortunate, but most dealers that we've met would rather brand with them and try to retain them and hope that they stay versus them, branding and taking their customers on social with them. But that's a great question. We see that a lot.
It's a concern.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like any other questions from the judges? Okay, thank you so much. Let's hear it for Gail pass it on to them. Okay, up next we have Alex Melen from Smart Sites. He's going to be talking a little SEO with us. So Alex, when you are ready, I will start the clock.
Give me a second. I'm going to set up my own timer. So.
All right, smart.
I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Cool. Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about SEO and how it's really underrepresented in a lot of marketing budgets for automotive dealerships. Really quick 2 sentences about myself. So for those who don't know me, my name is Alex. I'm the co-founder of Smart Sites. We're a full-service, industry-agnostic digital agency. We have over 250 employees now and been doing this for a little bit over 11 years. I talk really quick, so hopefully everyone catches up, and I'm going to try to do a little bit of audience participation in my 5 minutes as well. So off we go. The reason I'm going to be talking about SEO today is that Google has really become the primary place where we find information and go to for anything. So I love using this as Internet Life Stats. You guys could go to this website. It shows you the daily usage on the internet every single day. The takeaway here is there are 6 billion searches that happen on Google every single day. So if you think about your own behavior over the last couple of years, last couple of decades, everything is very Google-based now. Like you come home and your pipe's leaking in your basement, right? The first thing you gotta do is you gotta take out your cell phone, you gotta go on Google, and you gotta search for a plumber. So Google has really become the gateway to the internet for us and how people find information. All right, that was very quick. Time for some audience participation. So on the left side, we have, it's cut off, not cut off too much. Website traffic distribution. So this is 155 dealerships from 2021. Anyone want to take a guess what represents the biggest source of traffic for the dealerships?
Direct.
Guesses. Everyone's falling asleep. Oh no.
SEO.
SEO. Good guess. So organic traffic represents 51% of dealership traffic, right? I have all other is the orange on bottom left, and then paid search and social. So I cheated a little bit. I put everything into all other to create a bucket, right? But either way, organic search for most dealership represents more than half of their traffic on their website. And usually it's the best converting traffic, best time on site, right? It's the people who are finding you through Google organically versus third-party websites. Right side. So on the left side, we had website traffic data, right? A sample size of 155. On the right side, we have marketing budgets, right? And this is the takeaway today. A smaller sample size, as I didn't have as many budgets I could disclose, but anyone want to take a guess the biggest spend for marketing budget? Search. Whoa, so again, I cheated. I put everything together. So all other is 41%, paid search 35%. They're both pretty equal, right? So this is the big insight is that most dealerships have this huge marketing imbalance where organic brings in 51% of the traffic they're getting, but they're investing very, very little to grow their organic traffic, right? And that's where the huge opportunity is. This data, by the way, has never been seen released before. This is specifically for this event, so really cool stuff. Feel free to jot it down if you want it. It's decent sample sizes too, and this is for the entire 2021. All right, so now that we know we should be doing more SEO, I'll walk you guys through my 2-hour SEO presentation in the next 1 minute and 40 seconds. 1, 2, 3, go. So SEO could be broken up into 2 sections, right? At the top you have Google Maps and below is Google localized organic results. For most of you guys in the room that have a physical dealership, both are important. You want to be coming up on Google Maps and on the local results, right? And the way it works, can I squeeze another user participation? I think so. Anyone want to take any guesses what's the most important factor to be either on maps or on the organic results?
Proximity.
Proximity is a good one. Anything else?
Google My Business is local pack and content is regular.
Yes. That was a very, very advanced answer. So on Google Maps, obviously Google My Business profile is the most important, right? If you have a Google My Business profile, that's hopefully everyone in this room has a Google My Business profile. Let's leave it at that. Getting reviews is also very important on your Google My Business profile. The content of the reviews has become important. So Google will now rank the content. So if someone mentions something in the content, it'll more likely show up in searching on maps. Aside from that are the 2 things that I have squared off here. It's on page and links, right? And on page is the quantity and quality of your content, and also fixing technical things on your website. And then links is literally getting people to link to it, right? And it's important for both maps and the organic results. And this data is from the Bright Local SEO ranking factors. This is the latest one, most of that time. Really quickly, and content is still super important. So in this example, the only reason US News comes up in this result is because they created a page for mid-sized cars, otherwise they wouldn't. And as long as you keep doing all those things I just had in tables, it's very easy to keep increasing your organic search traffic.
Time.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Ready for questions? Questions.
So we talked about SEO for years, and basically the slides are the same thing we've talked about for years, but ultimately what's the difference in what you're discussing and what we've heard for
for sure.
10 plus years?
So the whole insight here is that people are not investing enough in SEO. I think nothing's changed. People know SEO is important. The ranking factors move a little bit from year to year, but they haven't really changed, right? It's not necessarily that I'm saying something new, it's the huge imbalance that happens. SEO traffic is super important. It's the majority of the traffic to your website, yet people invest $1,000, $2,000 a month, and on PPC you're investing on $15,000, right? That's the imbalance and opportunity. If you take your money and literally invest in creating content and do links and do these ranking factors that are on here, you actually wind up with SEO traffic that looks like that. And for most dealerships that don't do that, their organic traffic does not look like that.
How are you choosing your content and keywords? Is it specific per dealership? Is it the same kind of package for everyone?
Yeah, so it should be, I got 2 mics. It should be different for every dealership, right? And it should be really focused on what you're trying to accomplish or what you want to come up for results in. So in this one, for example, the reason US News, so US News is not auto specific, right? They created these pages to get automotive traffic to these pages, right? So for your dealership, you have to think about what traffic you want. So if you want the lower funnel visitors, you create direction pages from cities nearby, right? That's how people search. Like when I try to find a dentist, I search dentist near and I type in the city that I'm near, right? So you create these direction pages, they'll start ranking for those things they're searching. So it's all thinking about what people are searching and what kind of people you want to get. Obviously, you're not gonna, if you keep doing SEO, eventually you'll run out of cities, right? So there has to be more and more content, but you always have to be creating content. Content is clicking around like. Content gives you the opportunity to come up in search results. So for example, US News, no matter how authoritative and important they are, if they didn't create these pieces of content, they would not come up with these results. So every piece of content gives you an opportunity to come up with search results.
So each article for each dealership is completely unique?
Yes, and should be. Your content can't be duplicated. If it's duplicate content, Google penalizes it. So please, and there's ways to check. So you could even take a paragraph from your page, put in Google, paste it, and press search. If there's if other sites on the internet have the same content as you, you will get no credit.
How is what you're offering different for a dealer than a dealer leaning on their current provider?
Yeah. So good question.
Inspire or things.
Yeah. Good question. So the packages from those providers usually aren't as comprehensive because their focus is to be a website provider, and they have to operate within compliances and rules that are set probably 2 years before the year starts and all that. So we have a lot more flexibility. And the biggest difference, we do more of it. So for the same money, we'll create more content. I don't know, twice, 3 times more. We'll do twice, 3 times more link building. So it's all quantity game, right? The more content you create, the more opportunities you have to show up in search results. The more link building you do, the more authoritative you're seen, and between those two, you rank higher and you have more things coming out.
And are you able to work in concert with?
Yes. Yes, and so we're industry agnostic. We're every single industry. Some industries, the client wants to write the content. We have a company that makes fasteners. That's like, I don't know, they make the tab on Coors Light. It's very specific content. We help them a little bit with it, but a lot they're like, this is very technical, we want to write.
But that's very important to have on Coors Light. So.
We sell 10,000 variations of them for every single manufacturer of bottles. So they like to work on the content themselves because they're experienced. So we're very flexible. You want to do link building, we'll do this part. It's all about, as long as you're doing all these things in some way, we could be involved in all of them, it could be involved in some of them, as long as you're doing these things, your organic search traffic should be going up every year. It's as easy as that. And it's just a matter of investment. As you saw from the beginning, people aren't investing enough in their SEO. That's the biggest problem I see in the industry, especially compared to other industries.
Awesome, I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Do you typically do a preview of how the store is doing before they invest with you?
Yes, for sure. So the best way to do that, and I don't know if other people do it, but the best way I find doing that is you give me your dealership and you give me your competitors, and we do an analysis and compare to them, because you're competing for the same thing, right? If you're an Infinity dealership and you have one 3 miles away, you're both competing for the same thing. So you can actually, and they're free tools, you can see how many links that other dealership has, how much content they have, their domain authority, and you can really put it together and see how you compare to them, right? And you could do that, by the way, in every industry and every application. You could look up with free tools, content and links for anyone, and you could see what how much I need to spend to be here. You could see how much they have to be there right now. So that's the way to do it.
Cool. That's time. Thank you for the question, though. Well, another round of applause for Al. And up next we have Jasen Rice. I thought you left for a second. You made me nervous. So we got Jasen Rice from LotPop. He's going to be talking about how to do a proper lot walk.
And you're going to tell me when to start.
I will tell you. Actually, you just give me the nod. We'll go.
I know.
I'm not here to sell a magic pill or anything like that. This is going to be back to the basics. If you have a CRM and you have an inventory management tool, this will impact you. I think it's the most impactful thing I've really connected over the 27 years of doing this. You guys have a showroom floor and a lot. You have customers floating around that lot. You have inventory there that you make sure every day you do a lot walk. You're meeting and greeting customers. They're not sitting out there for 5 or 10 minutes. If that happened at your showroom floor, You probably throw a chair through the window. And you're going to also make sure your cars are standing tall and standing pretty as those customers are going. But think about it. When it comes to your virtual lot, you've got a BDC or internet department working on one side of your showroom floor and a whole other system, their CRM. You got an inventory manager working their inventory management tool in another system, so your virtual lot is not being connected. So let me give you some stats of what you're doing now. This isn't good news and what you can be doing. What we did is we took several dealerships, over 10 dealerships, and we grabbed their active leads. And you can see 3,800 total leads, 1,300 of those total leads. Again, this is over the last 60 days of active leads. Active leads we're still supposed to be calling and emailing. 1,300 were still on a vehicle, still in stock. I mean, they submitted a lead, the car's still there, okay? 2,500 of those leads are actually on cars that sold. Again, 60-day-old leads. But here's the big problem. We took a look at what most CRMs do, and they actually manage the lead by age. They have nothing to do with the inventory age, or anything. Positioning of the car. When you have a 0 to 7-day-old lead, most CRM processes is to follow up with that lead every day. So we said, well, let's look at 0 to 7-day-old leads we haven't contacted in 2 days. By week 2, we're contacted every other day. So let's look at leads we haven't contacted in the last 3 days. And so forth down. 4-day gap on a 15-day-old lead, 6-day gap. And by the time it's 40 days old, how many we haven't contacted in the last 7 days. And check out some of these numbers. Look at 0 to 7. Actually, I'm going to back up here. Look at 0 to 7. 26% of leads with cars still in stock haven't been followed up in 2 days. If they're out of stock, forget about it. 40% haven't been followed up for 2 days. The big eye-opener, 2-week-old lead, 15 to 30-day-old leads. 51% haven't been contacted in 4 days. 61% of cars are out of stock. If you gobble all this data up together, 53% of your leads aren't following a normal status process that your CRM runs. The CRMs don't talk cars. Inventory tools don't talk leads, okay? This is a big problem. And this 77% on switch leads that we haven't contacted in 5 days, I'm going to tell you about that here in a second. So when we looked at, again, another set of 10 dealerships, 68-day-old leads, 62% of those active leads are on sold cars. Okay? If a customer came in and walked on your showroom floor and the car sold, would you turn around and walk away and say, car sold? Salesmen would get fired if they didn't TO that deal, wouldn't they? Okay? So when you look at your closing percentage in your CRM, it's irrelevant until you understand how the inventory is impacting that. If you got 100 leads, 60 of them you can't sell a car to today, it only leaves 40. If you close 10% of those, that's 4 deals. Your CRM is going to say you have 100 leads, you close 4, you suck, cancel, cars.com. Okay? But it's irrelevant when you look at the inventory and the mix in. Look at this other metric that threw me. 47% of those active leads are on only 10% of the cars. If you have 100 cars in stock, 10 of them are getting half the activity, the other 90 don't. So think about that. The other 90 cars, could I take maybe some of these 62% and switch them to those other vehicles? I don't need more leads. You need working the leads you got. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so that's that 77% of those leads haven't been contacted in that 5-day gap. 77%, that would not happen on your showroom floor, right? Would you let that happen here? But your manager, you think the BDC person's doing their job. BDC people think the manager's doing their job, and they're not. So what we did is you take a look here. This is a vehicle. How much time?
50 seconds.
Oh, here's a vehicle, 53 days old. Should I change the price? Well, I got 5 active leads as a manager and 21 switch opportunities. I got 26 different people I can talk to about this car. Switch meaning an intermediate car in the same price point. But look, these leads haven't been contacted 10 days, 3 days, 10 days, 7 days. This 52-day-old lead right here hasn't been contacted for 10 days. But it's, oh my gosh, but it's fine. Because your CRM says don't follow up for once a week. Then look, 8 fresh cars. Fresh cars priced really high, 115%, 12-day-old car, right? They have no active leads, but look at all these switch opportunities. Don't race to the bottom and drop your price. I got 22 switch opportunities I can put on this car before I even adjust it because they're in the same price point, in the same segment. Then take the internet person. See this customer walking toward this car? Well, that car's sold. It's gone. But there's 11 switch opportunities here. This particular customer, did they want an Outlander, or would they be open to an Escape?
Jason, I'm sorry, but it's time. You're on the roll.
Whatever I miss, hopefully.
That was fast. You did great. All right, judges.
Yes.
I gotta ask, some of the data on the unsold cars that you were pulling, especially getting into the aging, where'd you get that data?
Okay, so our system, we pull out of your inventory management tool, VinQ, vAuto, Inventory Plus. We also pull from your CRM data and we combine that two information to see. Is that what you're asking?
No, well, actually, what I'm asking is how old is that data? Because
last week.
Okay. I'm just looking at those numbers thinking our inventory is, we don't have any inventory.
On used cars or new cars?
No, well, on used, on new, used, I mean, the swing is so fast now. So it's just, I'm looking at it and thinking about my own store and thinking, that's interesting because I just don't see I can see the application in prior times. I can't see it now, but I may be missing something.
Well, yeah, because if your cars are selling that fast, then you probably have a lot more leads. I have a dealer with 80% of his active leads on sold cars. His average age to sell is 16 days. He gets a lot of leads and the car sells. Well, that customer, if anything, you know the segment they're interested in and the price point they're interested in. So do I have, especially a fresh car, because you're going to get a lot of, 50% of those leads on 10% of the inventory, well, guess what they're coming on? The car's priced at 80, 90% of market, right? Those are the ones getting the attention. The car is priced at 110, it's not getting the attention. But guess what? You probably have active leads that on that car that's sold that you can switch back to this one. They have to buy something else, right? From somebody. And most people are going to be segment and budget loyal more than brand. They know they want a compact SUV, they like the Escape, but it's sold. Would they be open to other things? And it would happen on the showroom floor, right? So why isn't it happening in your CRM and your inventory management? That's the point.
Yeah, I'm just thinking where it is a seller's market. I'm thinking of the product, time, and everything else. I'm not questioning.
No, yeah, that's why I think there's opportunities.
But I'm thinking, as you're pitching into a room full of dealers, you know, geez, why would I need this? It's like trying to sell candy the day after Halloween. It might be a little tough, but maybe it's not. So it's everyone's. But I understand. How do you've got someone in on a car that's sold? Let's help guide them to something else that we can place them in and not just say, sorry, sold, next.
Yeah. And you're in a good position, and if that's the inventory's flowing there, and you've got that, like I said, selling kid candy after Halloween. If you've got that opportunity, you're probably in the top 10, 20% of dealerships, and those are the good operators. You know, again, they get ready to.
Would you say it's safe to say that this is more of a mindset shift by using LotPop, as far as taking a look at your entire systems, you know, where it's got the CRM data, it's got the inventory data from vAuto, it puts it all into one platform, and then it's a mind shift. It's a mind shift for desk managers, on the salespeople. The way we can look at our process is different. Is that the way to look at it?
Without turning into a pitch, the way I vision it is, you do a physical lot walk every day. You make sure your cars are standing, call customers. So are you doing that same lot walk digitally? Again, you got a virtual lot. Most managers are more worried about that pulling that front line than they are about the 20 leads that they haven't followed up with, you know, on 50-day cars that they're going to go drop the price on, right? So, yeah, I think that's a mind shift, because I do think the sales manager just needs to be, think about it, that customer's on the showroom floor for 10 minutes, that sales manager is going to throw a fit, take full responsibility of that. But that lead on that 50-day-old car that hasn't been called for 10 days, oh, that's the BDC's department. So yeah, as a manager, no, the mind shifts have to happen. That's a customer just as important as the guy on the floor.
Is this a live feed? How often does it refresh?
Every day.
Every day, okay. And then when the information comes in on, say, a switch, car sold, they might be interested in this. Does that feed back into the CRM for the BDC agents and call them? Is that the manager going and saying, hey, we need to contact this person?
Yeah, there's a list of customers that we're going to show you. Hey, this is an active lead on a sold car. You haven't contacted. There's 3 switch opportunities. Take that customer name and go to your CRM. Most people are going to run 2 screens. I'm very particular saying I'm not a CRM tool, so I want to be agnostic and get as many CRM data. You know, every dealer uses a different one. Same with inventory management tool. They just have to copy that customer's name, go in there. We don't collect phone numbers, emails, just for privacy stuff that I don't have to mess with and that information too. But copy the customer name, go in your CRM, and go to work. Okay. Any other questions?
Hey. Okay, up next we have Erica Sietsma. I learned how to say that one last night too. So Erica, the floor is yours. Give me a nod when you're ready.
All right. I'm also going to have my own timer. I'm going to copy you out. It's a good tip. All right. So our study today, oops, wrong way. Hold on.
Yeah, that's all right.
The big green one. It's actually a little different from some of the others, but I do think if our study and all of everybody else's data had a baby, it would be like the perfect insight. So what I'm going to be revealing is some of the results from our 9th annual customer experience trend study, where it's actually the largest study of its kind. We had 4,800 respondents, over 2,000 respondents that were sales buyers, vehicle customers, as well as service customers, over 2,700 service respondents. The period of time was a 6-month time frame in 2021, so you have a bot or service within that 6 months. So the number one insight is, as a body, as a dealer industry body, we need to be controlling the research about our individual dealerships. Okay? This should not be surprising. 60 to 67% for sales and service, right, use online search and reviews as their sole deciding factor of dealership choice. Right? So what do you look like online? Are we paying attention to that? Right? Some of Alex's data. Okay? Some of the information we've heard already. What is your organic social looking like? Are you paying attention to that? Interestingly enough, 40% of people said they did not contact a dealership because they had no offers or incentives. Now, you could say, hey, on the sales side, right, we don't have any offers. We're pricing cars above market. Yeah, you always have an offer. Right? I was talking to one of the dealers last night, and they were saying what they're doing is, knowing that their vehicles are priced over market, they're offering other types of incentives. They're offering loyalty programs, other service. Maybe you used to have a Tires for Life program, and before it came with every car you sold. Now, it's an incentive you offer. You always have an offer. Put it online so customers can find it. This one is really interesting. As an industry, we've been talking about reputation management for almost 15 years. Every single one of your manufacturers requires some type of solution there, just about every manufacturer. Unfortunately, we've seen a decline of dealers actually asking for reviews from their consumers. The numbers here, that 93% of sales buyers, right, are looking at your reputation online and saying that matters. That number has grown. Your consumers are getting more and more picky, whilst we're seeing dealers stopping asking for reviews. And this is not a good trend, right? If you're asking for 20% less reviews, what's happening is we're seeing a rise in negative reviews right now. Now, if you were a 4.5 with 2,000 reviews on Google, will that change because of 60 bad reviews in the last 2 years? No, probably not. You were made a 4.5. But your customer is savvy, and guess what they're looking at? They're sorting those reviews by recency and seeing how you're performing in the last 6 months. So really pay attention to that. Start asking for those reviews again. We've seen a huge decline in that. Respond faster and with more information. This is probably, for me, being in this industry over 20 years, the most depressing stats. 31% of consumers, almost twice it's been in past years, said that they received no pertinent information in their lead response. 2 times as many customers said that they didn't receive a response at all. That is the highest it's ever been. It's so crazy that this is happening right now. It is so unfortunate. It is so easy to respond to our customers via lead. There's so many technologies. 52% down from 80 said they got no price. 26% down from 45 said there's no offers and incentives. And 17% of this is saying received alternatives. If you are out of that vehicle, as we've heard everybody talk about, right, with the inventory crunch, why are we not offering alternatives? Why can't you offer what used cars? They wanted a new, hey, we've got these used in stock. If you're part of a dealer group, you could offer the entire group's new and used inventory as an alternative. And 41% of people said, you know what? A video would really be helpful. 4% of respondents got a video. There are so many video technologies we can be taking advantage of. There are companies that will do the video for you. You don't even have to get your team on camera. And we're still not sending video. And this especially helps with this last category. Create the best pre-order experience. I heard recently that dealers have as high as 30% to 40% defection on pre-orders. That is not acceptable. And this might be why. When we're seeing 71% of customers waited up to 3 months, right? 27% waited 3 months to a year for their vehicle. People are willing to wait. They're also willing to pay to wait. But that being said, almost 1/5 of those pre-order customers received 0 communication about their pre-order. And that is not okay. I've heard the excuse, you know what, my manufacturer said they handle it. When, in the last 15 to 20 years, have we let the manufacturers control how we do business as dealers? No one should be letting the manufacturer control your communication experience with your customer. And with that, our 3 key takeaways: control the research, respond faster, include more information, and of course, create a positive vehicle order experience. All right, perfect. Yes.
Me.
Questions? Bueller?
What is digital airstrike doing to help improve this? I got a lot of numbers, but I don't know specifically how you're helping us get past that.
Yeah, absolutely. So over the last 12 years, we've helped to create tools and technology to help with social and reputation management, to help with lead response, to help with consumer conversion, and then to help with customer retention through requesting reviews, responding to reviews, etc. So we kind of help with all of it. And you know, the great part here is these are basics. Digital Airstrike has solutions, but there's so many other great companies that your OEM support as well. And it's disheartening to see these numbers when there are so many technologies we can put in place to help. Did I stump the judges?
No, not at all. Just, sound like I've said, you know, the same thing on a couple of them. But just like, you know, besides the third one, right, about the create vehicle order experience, like, again, what is the difference on the same thing we've been talking about 10 plus years, how to create better experiences? We still aren't responding to reviews fast enough. People still aren't responding to leads fast enough, not getting information back. So how is this going to be any different?
I think the insight here is it's getting worse. And I think that is, you know, again, disappointing when we have digital retailing tools now. You know, we can sell cars online now as an industry, but we can't respond to a lead. So to your point, why is this getting worse? Now my guess is everybody in this room, you are the best of the best and you are not doing this, right? You're probably checking all these. Now, worth going back, inspecting what you expect as a dealer, you know, just make sure those things are happening. Just make sure whether it's your team or technology that it's happening as you expected. But it's also a great opportunity because if you're doing it, guess who's not doing it? Your competitors. And if you're doing it well, do it better, do it best, do it great. Because this is the time to lean in and dominate that market share so that in a year from now, you're buying their point, right? And you are dominating your market with these, to your point, basics. Absolute basics, but they're going backwards. So it's a huge opportunity. If you've locked in on these basics, now it's time to take over.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, what you're showing statistically certainly proves that. And as we're in this environment where, you know, demand is here, supply used to be here.
Yeah.
You know, there was I think the drive to hustle was there because quite honestly, you did have low range cars.
Yeah.
You had to move them. The lot was full. The storage lot was full. Now demand is here and the supply is here. So it's very easy for the eye to go off the ball.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, I think the stats really bone that out pretty well.
One more point to that respond. I think ultimately that also is a reflection of staffing as well. Being underemployed in certain areas, you know, not having the correct amount of people per day, you know, to, you know, turn the amount of hours, or sell the cars, or to respond to review. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I got a showroom full of customers, I got 3 people that showed up today. Well, realistically, hopefully I got somebody to respond to the review, or I'm going to respond to it, or my lady, you know, that's helping me respond to reviews is going to do it, or whatever it is. But I think also that also leads to being understaffed. Yeah,
and I think this goes back to Mallory's question, right? Of, you know, what are the tools out there? There's so many technologies we don't have to rely on the team and the staff to do it. Now, I was talking to Gail about this, but 1 + 1 = 3, right? So if your team does jump in, that makes it even better. The tools and technologies that are now available to dealers are so powerful, right? Leveraging AI, leveraging machine, they can do so much, but they aren't a complete replacement for humans. What they help do is augment your staff. So if you only have 2 salespeople right now, you only have 3 salespeople, the tools and technology that surround them can make them seem like 10, right? And you use them to do the one thing technology can't emulate, though I know companies are working on it, which is that face-to-face. Right? Which is that phone call, which is that human element that they are better suited when it's an email response from a computer, from a technology. Your humans aren't best suited for that, but they are best suited for phone and in person. You good?
Hey, yes.
Perfect.
Excellent. So last but not least, we've got Skyler Chadwick from Cox Automotive. Did I lose him? Oh, there he is. Found him. So Skyler's going to be talking a little bit of fixed ops with us, so looking forward to that. And that will be our 5th and final one. Skyler, the floor is yours. You let me know when you want me to start the clock.
I'll start my own timer too.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, it's good to know.
I'll keep you honest.
All right, awesome. Super excited to be here. Change the atmosphere here. Let's talk about fixed operations here just for a minute and talk about why it's important, because fixed ops matters to you and your dealerships and also to your consumers. That is how we keep the actual flow of new customers buying new cars and used vehicles at your dealership. Those returning customers are what matters most. Dealerships continue to be the most used service provider in the industry today. Dealerships from 2018 to 2021, which I will be talking about our Cox Automotive Service Industry Studies, we've only gained 1% of those customers back to you as a dealership group. So what does that mean for you as dealers? That means that you guys have time to grow. You guys have the ability to be able to grab those consumers from these different retail providers as well and to bring them back to your dealerships. Digital transformation does not stop at the actual showroom, folks. Digital transformation should continue all the way through your dealership, all the way back to your actual fixed ops. Don't stop just at the front of the business. Start building a platform and processes on the back end that are going to really help you grow your bottom line. One of the reasons, the top reasons why consumers do not come back to the dealership, if you look at 2021, it is now not a convenient location. Now you're probably thinking, Skyler, how is that even possible, right? We can't just lift our dealership and move it to a convenient location to our consumer. But look at what it's done in the last couple of years. All the way from 2015, that's gone from the least concern of a consumer all the way to the #1 reason why, right? So this is starting to see this change. We saw that change in 2018 when it moved all the way up to #2 spot in 2018. That was prior to the pandemic, folks. This means that these consumers have changed their philosophy and the way that they want to do those business and how they want to have their car serviced and bring them to your dealership as well. You're going to hear me talk about Amazon experience. Everybody's talked about this. Why is the Amazon so important? We've been hearing that words, right? You're probably tired of me saying that word Amazon experience, right? But it's not about that. Why do people go to Amazon? I guarantee every single one of us in this room today have purchased something from Amazon in the last week or today. Matter of fact, right? Here it is. Folks, what does Amazon do? We talked about this throughout the entire time. We had our panel up here. They talked about time. You want to earn a customer's business? Give them time back to them. I'm going to go back and refer back to that #1 of why consumers don't come to your dealership to have their vehicle serviced because you're not a convenient location. Well, how do we fix that? How do we boost your bottom line as a dealership group? Ultimately, the top 11% of dealers, some of those maybe here in this room today, have changed. Everybody hates that word change, right? Nobody wants to hear that when we change a DMS or a fixed operations solutions tool in our actual shops. But 11% of our dealers that made these changes are making and grossing their bottom line. Here's some of the things that they're doing. One of the things I always love to talk about, don't just forget about, just don't focus on your customers, but also focus on your people. These are the people that are working in your dealerships on a daily basis and helping you guys grow and build a brand for you. So focus on building technology tools that give them the tools to be able to power themselves and make their job easier. Also, digital customer experience. How many of us have a phone in our hand, right? We have it in our hand all the time. This gentleman right here in the black shirt has got his phone sticking out right now using his phone. Why? Put the digital experience. Why do people go to Amazon? It's because they have control of that experience. They have control of that buying experience. So invest time into building things like enhanced multimedia, which is video, right? For your technicians to build a transition of building trust. Dealers, we have a great way of burning bridges, right, with consumers very easily. How do we build that bridge back up? We need to be building bridges with our consumers, not burning those bridges down, right? Use your technicians to be the voice to telling the consumer what's going on with their car, right? How would this experience be? Just like the Amazon. I can come to the dealership, schedule my appointment, and then guess what happens? I get the notifications on my phone saying, here's your appointment reminder. I show up to the dealership. Can I do self-check-in just like I do at the airport? Do you have solutions that are empowering you to be the #1 dealership in your actual area? Are you beating your competitors out there as well? And then the one I'm going to really talk about is service pick and delivery today. Cadillac came out this last week. said, guess what? We're creating a premium delivery, pickup delivery service here today. And now guess what's important? Look at the satisfaction. 86% of your consumers that took advantage of service pick and delivery were satisfied. And 87% of those consumers were likely to choose a dealership that took a part of those services with service pick and delivery over your dealership.
Skyler, time. 10 seconds passed as well.
Okay.
So we'll leave some time for the judges. Go ahead, guys.
So, providing the insight, so out of everything that we just talked about, right, on the slides and about the service pickup and delivery, that's part of the thing that sticks out is the pickup and delivery. People do love that. So the ones that you see that are most successful with that, like what radius is that beyond their dealership?
Usually we see it about a 15-mile radius, right? But it also deals with demographics too as well, right? Service pick and delivery may not be something for every dealership, but I will tell you it is the way of the future of what Cox is doing. We're investing millions of dollars into it. And if you look at the bottom line, that number of $275 per repair order, dealers, the customers that actually take advantage of this, dealers are seeing their bottom line grow like that. And it's amazing, right? It's putting time back into that customer's hand, just like I talked about the Amazon experience. It's putting that time back.
I think that a number of dealers would feel it would be a daunting task to implement pickup and delivery. A 15-mile radius, depending on your market, you may or may not be comfortable sending people in a 15-mile radius. The cost to do it, obviously, and as we've talked about a number of times, is finding people to do it. That becomes, to me, that's the biggest obstacle, is who's going to do this? Where are we going to find these people to do it? That becomes, to me, I think, such a challenge. We're all struggling with finding people. And we're not the only industry.
Yeah.
So that, there's no doubt that everybody would like that car picked up, delivered. Same thing with your dry cleaning. That'd be great. Have it picked up, delivered. Grubhub, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of dealers, again, could find the task to do it and the cost to do it overwhelming. And when you say there, the stat of the $275 elevation in the repair order, what brands do that represent? In other words, if you look at a brand such as Lexus, Mercedes, are they $600 and that's skewing it, and a Kia dealership sees a lift of $50. And I'm making those numbers up. I don't have any idea what's behind the 275 number. While it sounds like a great average, there's probably no dealer in the room or in the general populace that wouldn't want a lift of $275 per RO. But that's, and then also with the advent, to piggyback on it, the advent of more and more manufacturers doing factory maintenance in the beginning. I know with Honda, it's just rolling out with the 2023s, and it's based on the maintenance minder. I'm not going to get a $275 lift running out and picking up someone's car for a service A that the maintenance minder didn't even dictate a service till 9,000 miles, and that says dump the oil and don't even change the filter.
Yeah.
So it becomes daunting.
So I think the daunting task is having the right solution in place. We talk about silo technologies, right? Does my scheduling tool integrate with my actual service pick and delivery tool as well? And I think that's where it comes into fact, is that are we using silo technologies that are creating an extra step, which is requiring more people, or could we bring this into a one solution, right? That I have a scheduling tool that actually works with my actual service pick and delivery tool, that becomes automated, right? You set up the actual preferences on the back end of how you want those processes to handle. And I think what happens too is that we're seeing Cadillac, Infiniti, you see Genesis, those types of brands, right? This is an average, right, of repair order we see in the industry. Could it be higher for some of these larger brands like Mercedes-Benz? Of course, right? We're going to see a lot more. There's a lot more expensive services, things like that. But we're seeing this as an average as well.
What would you say, could be some smaller, simpler, less daunting changes that a dealer could start with before moving on to something as big as offering pickup and delivery to all of their customers within 15 miles?
Ride share, making it easier for customers to be able to get to and from where they need to go. Offering ride share. And again, stepping away from siloed technologies, right? Does your actual scheduling tool allow you to maximize ride shares like with Lyft integration? Did you make it easier for the consumer to be able to schedule saying, hey, I need a Lyft ride at the time of scheduling that appointment, so when that customer comes in and they have a tablet in front of them with a ServiceLink technology tool, that I could schedule that ride. It's all about convenience, right? It's about giving time back to that consumer. And the nice thing about, there's tools out there like Cox Automotive has with XM, that you can actually schedule a ride 7 days out from now. And then that customer gets a token that they can actually schedule that ride, and they can actually pick that up and use that token whenever they need to be coming back to the dealership. So things that I would say to you is that I would do that as well.
Which also depends on where you live too.
Yes,
it does.
I'm going to cut it off. That is 5 minutes. So keep it. Guys, let's give a round of applause for our judges. We appreciate you guys helping out. It means a lot. So, as a reminder, we will score everything and we will announce the winner this afternoon. If the judges and the judges in the audience can do me a favor, just turn in the score sheet to Natalie in the blue dress. That would be a lot of help. We are going to take a much needed lunch break now. Please make sure to thank the Ritz-Carlton staff. They've been super accommodating, and so we're looking forward to that. And then we'll meet back here at 1:15 for the Beast Mode panel. So.